Hello, Duo Esports, and anybody else who might be watching. First and foremost, I would like to thank our new Twitch Prime subscriber, Gazytron. Absolutely thank you to you. And first and foremost, this is me, Voslo, and joining with me today will be the color caster, Warhood.
Hello everyone, I hope everyone's having a wonderful Sunday. I'm excited for two great matches, one coming up here in a couple minutes and another one at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, Voslo, what are you looking forward to in these matches as we're all set to get this underway very shortly?
I'm pretty excited to see what Honda Trick is going to pull out today. Didn't get to play yesterday, which is a big shame. I really like his jungling pathing. I think he's been one of the top performing junglers so far of this split. I really want to see what he's able to bring to the table today. I really want to see what ESG can do. Lobster having a bit of a rough patch, as we can say, but maybe able to pull something out, maybe get their team cohesive and together. That would be for the best. Maybe we can see something happen, some sparks of hope.
Yes, I was definitely looking forward to watching Lobster's play today because Lobster Gaming, in fact, has a completely new roster basically at this point. And when we have this brand new roster, they displayed yesterday a decent skill, decent ability to hold it together, a couple more games under their belt, and I think they can pull off their first win.
That would be wonderful. I really like to see that. I think Train Game performed pretty decently on his Shen pick. I think he was able to do some good things for his team. It was not able to carry them through, unfortunately, but maybe we can see something good happen today. That would be absolutely wonderful.
Yes, it definitely would. And Fridge and Co. as well at ESG Genesis definitely looking to have come off just a little bit of a loss as well last night and are looking to rebound. Definitely going to be a great game. They just need to hold on a little bit longer, work on that mid game a little bit more, and they should be fine.
And understanding which league they can exploit. That would be absolutely for the best. Maybe we might even see Fridge play something that's not Singed this time. Who knows? I doubt it, but who knows?
I mean, I will put it this way, with Fridge and Lobster Gaming actually having no bans today, Singe will be open for Fridge to take if he was interested in taking it. And I know I spoke with him actually after the last game, and he seemed pretty adamant on continuing to use Singe until the nerfs to Banner of Command came out. Anyway, we are right now soon about to be ready to get underway.
Absolutely, and we can hop into these picks and bans very shortly and see what ESG will ban, as Lobster Gaming will lose their bans for their incomplete Lobster submission. So, we will see how this goes as soon as we start and get into there.
We are just now waiting for the teams to ready up and mark up. And we are into Champ Select.
Alright, first and foremost, Lobster Gaming is on blue side, so we will see them not ban this first time. Sad times, they can't let it, or they can't ban something even if it's like a Teemo, Aatrox, anything that most people just be like, oh, that's not really a champion. He can't do that. Who knows? Maybe Fridge has that in his pocket and he was like, hey, I was going to play that. Who knows? But we cannot let them do that, so we're just going to have to let it run down all the way to 0.
Word. I mean, to be honest, it's kind of a blessing in disguise when you think about it. Red side needs to ban out all of the OPs, right? To avoid, or normally has to ban out most of the OPs given the team's, second pick priority. So without having to ban, you're essentially living up 3 OP champions on the board that red side now is going to have to ban. One such of them is going to be a Jax. Jax, the first ban off the table for ESG Genesis.
I think that's a weird first ban because Hunter Trick I know has been pretty much his most played jungler, I believe, so far this split. It's like one that he's performed quite well on, and I really like his performance on it. Banning it first seems a little silly. Maybe I don't know enough about the champion pools and OP.GGs. Maybe there's something that I don't know here. Maybe it's a really good ban here. But I also think that if you can leave up 3 OP picks and you let Lobster Gaming pick 1, then you get 2. So,
it is.
Depending on what's going on.
Well, if you can't ban 5, you have to leave up 5 OPs. You know, they pick 2, you pick 3.
Yeah.
Just goes on back and forth, right?
Absolutely. I mean, at that point in time, we're Dota now, boys. Everybody gets an OP.
Yeah. Well, in comes the last ban, missed ban for this first priority. Fridge gets the last ban, and we're underways with the picks. What are you looking to think they're going to try and take, Lobster Gaming?
Lucian. I think it's probably the strongest AD carry right now. It's such a priority pick, getting a comfortable bot lane. It does well into Ezreal early on. Ezreal will eventually outscale Lucian just due to its safety and what it can do in the team fight, but Lucian, just his ability to be aggressive and bully that lane is very important. It's something that I would just hope that I would see first picked. Maybe, I don't know what Lobster Gaming. Oh, Kai'Sa also works. I highly agree with that one as well. I would like to have seen a Lucian, because Lucian does bully out Kai'Sa if Sivian does want to play Lucian.
Kai'Sa also gives the flex pick potential. I don't know if Glutz can actually play jungle Kai'Sa or how popular it is, but that does not give away their bot lane yet.
Absolutely,
Nami then picked up on the rebound with Jhin to follow. Great strong bully bot lane. Nami hits the bubble. It's about a 3 seconds chain of CC when it's all said and done. With the bubble and the snare by the Jhin.
And they do lock it in. That is a very, very aggressive and safe bot lane. Very long range, good amount of healing sustained. Very, very good. Kai'Sa not really able to bully them out too hard, because as Kai'Sa is being such short range. However, will have her own sustained bot in the bot lane if it is a Kai'Sa AD carry with a Soraka.
Soraka, great champ. One of the strongest solo queue supports right now in my mind. You start Star Call and then Max E, and you are on your way to victory. No one can get killed if you have a good Soraka player in the game.
Absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't call Soraka a great champion. It's more of a tilting champion, but whatever. Pick your poison. And then we see the Orianna for glutes gains, trying to show out his squatting prowess.
Hover of the Irelia. This is the downside, right, of not having a ban. Leaving the Irelia open. Super strong champion in this current meta. Super
Absolutely.
Strong in general. Gonna be a rough time.
And based on our conversation earlier, I'm inclined to believe that is in Irelia mid lane. It could in fact be a jungler. I know it's pretty decent in the jungle as well. Fridge wanting to do the singed as much as he can do. They do ban out the Shen. I feel like they're just banning Train Game at this point. Performing well yesterday, just don't want him to get any of those champions that he really wants to play on.
Yeah, well, if with the ban of the Shen, it lead me to believe that is a top lane Irelia, right? You want to ban away the champions that can do well into the champion. Looking at this,
in that case, I really expect to see a Poppy last ban. If you've never seen the matchup before, that Poppy matchup is heavily sided to. Poppy will even scale into an absolute tank monster, build a complete tank, and still kill Irelia in a 1v1. It's really not a fun matchup to play as Irelia and as Poppy. It's just hilarious. Getting Undying Grass procs with the buckler, it's absolutely fantastic. If it is an Irelia top, we do not see a Poppy ban. Who knows if Train Game does play it, but if he does, that is a rough lane for Irelia.
Zach being the last ban, another tank jungler banned out here. Bunch of scattered focus across the board. One thing though that ESG did not do is focus the ban on their mid laner, which is interesting given Glutz's ability, even though he did get the chance to first pick the Orianna, leaving them up.
I do, however, like Orianna. They didn't put any pick priority towards it. I like the Orianna pick that they were able to pick it early, didn't get focus banned in the second phase, which is a really good idea here. And it's very safe. It doesn't really show too much. And right now they're very much playing around Kai'Sa. It looks like on Lobster Gaming's draft phase, you have shields and heals for the AD carry that wants to just be inside of your team.
Orianna is always going to be a relevant champion.
And a Warwick jungle. I like it. Let's see how Huntrick performs on this. It is a great champion, absolutely fun, really, really good at exploiting aggressive lanes if you have some, because he's able to get the thirst for blood and just run around the map like a crazed dog. And a Trundle jungle in response.
Ornn coming in finally for the top lane and the Trundle. Trundle, I have huge respect for Trundle players. Or not huge respect. I think Trundle, huge priority on Trundle. I think Trundle is one of the best top laners there are at this point, or best junglers at this point in time. Fast, clear, great dueling ability, and the ability to shut down every tank possible.
Absolutely, and his ability to even beat out Warwick early. And we do not see a Sims pick for Fridge, but in fact a Cho'Gath in this matchup. Really good into Ornn. Very good pick here. The ability to just completely annihilate Ornn as soon as Cho'Gath hits 6. He's able to just completely eat Ornn, decimate him from the game if he can, depending on Ornn's build path. If Ornn starts going towards his the Iceborne Gauntlet early, means he will not have the health to sustain and survive a Cho'Gath.
Definitely seems like a great two good teams in here. I like both teams. Which team do you like having the slight edge as we got through this pick phase?
I feel like edge. I really like Lobster Gaming's team comp here. I really like the fact that they have a Kaisa. It looks like they have a pretty good focus of what they want. They have a Trundle to completely shred down the tanks. If Cho'Gath goes really tanky, he's just gonna be like, he's gonna become almost butter to like the team of Kaisa and Trundle with Trundle's ultimate. Warren able to get good peel off, lots of CC. Orianna and Soraka able to keep Kaisa alive. It's a very, very good composition around that. Irelia, however, is absolute monster. I don't know how well Kopek can play the champion. If he's insanely good on it, maybe he just completely murders Kaisa before anybody can do anything. Because, you know,
Yeah.
Aurelia is pretty balanced right now at this point in time. The Cho'Gath pick also able to get good pick potential. They have lots of pick potential on ESG. So much ranged pick potential with the tidal wave, the curtain call, the losing it right up the tip of my tongue.
Infinite duress off of Warwick.
Absolutely. The infinite duress.
And the knockoff up of Cho'Gath.
The rupture. Very strong abilities. Very, very good at catching out single targets if they have the vision and are able to execute it properly if they can. But I think overall, the team draft I really like around Lobster Gaming here. It has a really good idea of what they want to do. They can easily 4-1 with an Ornn, maybe even 1-3-1 with a Trundle, because Trundle is also very good at splitting. He's very good at pushing towers. He can 1v1 Cho'Gath or Warwick if he gets a decent lead. It should be a pretty interesting game. I think we can see how this game develops.
ESG definitely, when you look at what these comps want to do to win, this game could be a great microcosm of what strategies you can use. Lobster Gaming being a 4-1 team with the split comp on the with the Trundle, and then ESG Genesis with a 1-3-1 composition with Cho'Gath and Irelia both being able to split down the two side lanes as the Jhin and Nami hopefully are able to push and take turrets, with Warwick off in the backside being able to rotate either position based on their fighting potential, where they're Lobster's trying to direct their pressure to.
And Warwick's easily able to collapse on all of that. Personally, I think this game, based on draft alone, I feel like is all on Lobster Gaming to it is up to Lobster Gaming to lose, basically. I think they have to make a misplay, and that ESG can get a pick off of it, or maybe misplay a team fight, and then ESG can capitalize on it. It's very hard for a lot of ESG to force fight super hard. If Aurelia ults too early, she will not have enough mobility and burst to then burst down tanks. If Soraka and Orianna can just keep whoever she tries to catch out alive, Cho'Gath maybe can become an absolute monster if he is able to get ahead with help from Trick in this lane, I think. But they have a lot of catch potential, but I don't see a lot of very good team fighting going on here. They don't have enough AoE that will carry them through team fights. Jhin not having a very high DPS until a very late game, and he just does really hard single target damage with instant auto attacks. And they have decent lockdown with Cho'Gath and Warwick and the Aurelia as well, I guess. But it's just
the question's gonna be, I think, if the way you're trying to pose it is, can ESG Genesis get a slight edge heading into mid-game to prevent Lobster Gaming from being able to split push?
Yes,
or to group up.
Gaming, yes, absolutely. If Lobster Gaming becomes the ball of death that they want to in the mid-game, it'll be very, very hard for ESG to stop that.
Yes. And if faced with the opposition, though, of getting Lobster Gaming getting shut down a little bit, Ori doesn't really in terms of damage spike until 3 items. Kai'Sa is like 2.5 items. And then Trundle is going to be like 1.5. Your only chance to really have any sort of mid-game to stabilize at this point for Lobster Gaming is going to be the Trundle if anything goes wrong. Because Trundle can get to the point where he can 1v2, 1v3, depending on what is happening during the game.
Yes, and with that in mind, I would like everybody to start voting inside of the Twitch chat. See ESG win or LG win. Let's just see how we can do this today. And at this point in time, we load right into game. And as soon as we get done with these 15 seconds on these base gates, maybe we'll see some level 1 shenanigans. Who knows?
I would not really look for it. Of course, I've been wrong about what these teams want to do level 1 before. But I do not see much invade coming out of either of them. I don't think Cho'Gath starts then Rupture level 1. And then beyond that, you don't really have any other CC coming out of ESG Genesis. And more importantly, I do not believe there is any CC out of the Lobster Gaming squad either.
Yeah, there's not a lot of CC. Who knows what might happen? I mean, obviously they can start an ability to get the invade if they really, really want to. Jin could start his W. Nami could start the Aqua Prison if she really wanted to, but I don't really see that happening. But who knows? They are grouped up as 5 inside of this brush. Maybe they're looking to do a late invade. We don't see much of anything going on right now. If they do call off the invade, even if they want to do it, they'd probably call it off within the next 10 seconds.
I think they're expecting the invade coming out of ESG. ESG has invaded multiple times this season already. With no invade though, every lane can get to their normal starting spot, and you get a good standard leash.
Yes, absolutely. And it doesn't seem like any sort of fun shenanigans will happen. It's a sad, sad time. Really hoping shenanigans are always fun level 1.
Certainly is. We get a standard start here. Standard runes, if I'm thinking about what runes I would take for all these champions and all these lanes.
The only one I might even remotely question would be Trundle, as I believe press the attack is the optimal choice, especially if you were to find Warwick in the jungle and you do end up pathing into him. You do win that trade level 2. You can fight him, steal his AD, especially with press the attack, and you have lots of kill potential. However, Grasp does give him lots of healing as well. So that's a...
Yeah, it's the idea.
Think of the word.
It's conditional, I would say. If you're not looking to get off that, to sustain and get tanky, Trundle going Grasp with the Undying definitely gives them a better chance of living throughout extended trades and team fights.
Gives them lots of extra sustain, and right now there's not really too much going on. Just a bunch of harass going down on the bot lane, the mid lane, not really too much going on at this point in time. We don't really expect to see much. I feel like the most action will probably be around this top side.
I mean, when you think about it, Warwick in terms of ganking ability theoretically can gank all 3 lanes. There's enough CC out of every champion from the laners that they can do it. On the other hand, Trundle can run into some difficulties ganking for bot and mid turret.
Trundle getting the collapse early from Orianna, as Orianna does have lane priority. 100 Trick does manage to smite away the Scuttle Crab, and Kopek trying to get the 2-man stun, misses it. Very, very sad time. Glooch just walking away very, very slowly. Does have the red buff proc on him from 100 Trick, getting him pretty low. Is going to make him have to recall probably, unless he tries to greed and stay here, which could mean very, very poor, as Kopek could then turn that around on him.
Train game though, right now.
Train game giving Fridge all of the damage, but Train game did not start a Corrupting Potion, does not have the sustain that he might have wanted. If he went in Corrupting Potion, I feel like he could have had a lot more kill threat in this lane with his mana. Yeah.
Now, it's a big thing though, it burns out Fridge's teleport early, with the lane pushing into Train's game and the Ornn.
However, Train's game does have a good freeze at this point in time. He just wants to sit here and just collect the farm, get to an item spike that he really wants, and with the lane in this position, Akihiko could potentially gank him very easily, despite the fact that he was spotted on a ward on the bot side, on the opposite side of the map. Very sad time. Fridge knows that he's safe at this point, which is good for him, because he has to be very extended right now to try to clear this wave and bounce it off that turret.
Yeah. Trundle recalls, though, I would be probably making my way top lane right now at this point in time.
Absolutely. However, we do have the bottom scuttle. Hasn't been cleared yet. They don't know where Warwick is. I think he wants to contest the bot lane scuttle, and his only camp up is the Krugs. So, pathing at that point is the more efficient pathing, going top lane just for a gank that he can't really secure because Train Game has no mana. Train Game has to back, but maybe he can walk back to lane. Who knows? Fridge with the aggressive wards, able to do something, get some vision, maybe see what is going to happen from Akihiko.
Yeah, exactly. We're looking at right now.
Good CS leads all across ESG at this point in time. We can see if this develops. Kopek with a 10 CS lead in 5 minutes in the game. That might snowball out of control if the lane keeps going in the favor that it is. Orianna did get that early lane priority and able to roam to the warm and collapsed on the Warwick early.
Yep.
And to his detriment, though, as he then pathed in an awkward place and then had to take a lot of damage, was not able to push the wave completely into the tower.
Here's something that I find interesting as I'm looking at everything. Soraka goes heal as her summoner instead of the barrier. I know we've seen a couple renditions of what Soraka goes. I personally, when I play Soraka, take the barrier though. Oftentimes you're the one that they're focusing to try to kill you because of course you have that global taunt passive. But looks like they decide to go heal with the barrier then on the Kai'Sa. I wonder if that's gonna play like an actual part of how a later team fight goes.
I think that is like the preferred option in the specific team comp and what they're trying to do. There's so much protection for the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa really wanted that barrier to keep herself alive. Soraka having probably revitalized and the heal, able to get that. Ooh, and we do have the first blood. A good gank from Akihiko 22 onto Fridge. Fridge dying to Train Game. The first blood going to him. His Orin looking pretty good, pretty spicy at this time.
Right.
Able to get some things down. Fridge not having teleport, having to burn it early as they push into the tower now.
Yeah, I mean that's what you said. You let it up early with is that this Orin is doing a great job freezing the lane in a position that Cho'Gath is, dangerous in. Good job by Fridge there, not burning his flash, understanding he was dead and giving himself up. Good job by the Trundle as well, noticing that Orin about to hit 6 makes his way top lane to get the easy gank.
And as we were saying, I feel like the Soraka heal is very important to this composition, able to heal Rexor if Rexor is the one to get caught out, because he's very important to being like pretty much a lot of their damage, especially with just the Kai'Sa itself able to just pump out so much HP damage, especially onto champions like Irelia, Cho'Gath, Warwick. They have so much HP, a very large HP pool. You want to be able to melt that down, so keeping him alive is very, very important to their team comp.
Exactly. Anyway, we go back to farming. Trundle seems to be winning these early trades with the Warwick. Gonna be interesting as this goes.
Which is pretty interesting, considering Warwick having a massive farm advantage, and so isn't there one in the mid lane. Bridge, despite dying, still having a decent farm lead. However, it does seem the Train Game might get all of the CS and just about even it out. But there is a snowballing minion lead inside of the mid lane.
Yeah, it certainly is. I guess Irelia is doing a successful job at zoning off Orianna. I would be surprised about that. I'm not much of a solo laner, but the matchups usually of range into melee don't usually work this way early. I guess with the stuns and as well as losing the early trade at Sculler set that up.
Yes, it looks like that was a very, very poor for Glut's gains, getting that awkward pathing that she had to take does not really have much potential to really bully out Kopek early on. Kopek starting with a corrupting potion, just chugging on potions, doesn't really care too much, able to have lots of mobility and just collapse on Orianna. And Orianna does not have very good mobility, just her W. And she slows down Irelia just gets more dashes. She doesn't really care about slows.
Bunch of fights all over the map right now.
Absolutely. absolutely. And we do see a 2v2 in the bot lane. Gamer and Rexor are able to get their first kill in that lane. The infinite duress does land on Rexor. Gamer flashed it out of it instead of taking it for Rexor. Very sad for him. Hundred Trick getting his first kill for ESG. And we do see in the top lane just aggressive trades. Fridge getting kind of low. Train Game pushing into the tower. Doesn't really want to do anything else there.
Yeah, I mean, both fights breaking out across the field of play at the same time. Warwick now, though, with both bot lanes gone, is going to attempt to solo, it seems, the Cloud Drake, but spotted out by the plant.
Yes, the Scryer's plant. I really like the fact that both trades happened simultaneously. It was very, very good for Lobster Gaming in that regard, because Fridge did have his TP back up. So if Train Game and Fridge were not fighting, Fridge could have potentially TP'd to that and then maybe even changed that fight around immediately.
Yeah, definitely give an opportunity to see it. We see another.
You see Hunter Trick coming back mid lane. Luke's Games flashing over the disarm of the Aurelia ultimate, the Vanguard's edge. Flashing over there, trying to keep herself safe. The fear not landing onto her. She's completely fine. Did have to blow her flash. Did not use her cleanse just yet, but down to 30 CS disadvantage in the mid lane. It seems like something might have to happen here. Luke might just need to start roaming away from this lane.
I mean, the one positive I'm seeing from this situation is every time a gank's coming for Orianna, it's because she's overextended. Which means even though she's not CSing well, she's still getting the priority to shove in the Irelia, which means she is going to eventually start being able to take her minimum power elsewhere and start affecting other lanes if Irelia cannot start pushing this lane back into the Orianna's tower.
And just as you wish, Aurelia TPing back to mid lane now has a Tiamat and a Sheen. I feel like everything that we might have just thought about and said might just turn around on its head. Orianna, however, does get that room off as Aurelia does TP down to the mid lane, but doesn't really get much with it. Just kind of gets some pressure down bot lane. The bot lane immediately backing. And now we just see some scuttle fights.
Uh-oh.
Get caught by the flawless duet and immediately stopwatch to get out of there. And a good shockwave onto Kopek from the Blue Scans, getting another kill onto Rexor. Getting him 2-1 is very, very good at this point in time. Rexor does land the Void Seeker on to Mother Beat and Meow, but does not have his ultimate of the Killer Instinct to then collapse and then get the Mother Beat and Meow another kill. And Akihiko did manage to catch out Hunter Trick on the backside.
It's just a unfortunate team fight there. Aurelia not really able to stay, and with the trades in, oh my god.
Ooh, and we do see immediately get bursted down. Mother Beat and Meow staying a bit too long. Should not have probably stayed that long. Luke's Gains able to get a good command attack and command dissonance onto Mother Beat and Meow, and immediately deletes her from the fight city, and then just dies on the backside to Rexor, getting him his third kill of the game. This is exactly what they need to be getting strong in this team fight. Fridge does finish that TP to save the tower, and they just immediately go down to the dragon. The Cloud Drake is Hunter Trick, does use the infinite duress and does not land on anybody. Tries to steal the dragon, does not get it, and immediately just gets bursted down by LG, but Fridge able to flash in and chomp down onto the Soraka, completely destroying her out of the fight. Kopek also getting another kill onto Luke's Gains in the backside with another good play from him, and it just seems that this is just getting it all flustered. Fridge getting a second kill of the team fight and then dying to Train Game. The curtain call comes out. Train Game does get slowed, does go for the flash. He completely flashes into the Dragon Pit. He's all by himself. He does not have anybody here with him. It is 3v1 very soon. Does he get away? It looks like he does get the Searing Charge out, but ooh, the Kopek flash onto top of him, and just giving him as much damage as he can with the Defiant Dance, and the Blade Surge collapses on him, and he does die for that flash.
So, multiple things there. Unfortunately we'll go back from end of the fight to the beginning of the fight. Unfortunately for Train's Game, he decides to teleport there when the fight was basically already decided. He makes the situation worse for himself when he could have shoved in the lane, kept getting CS, and kept scaling. Going further, the other unfortunate situation about that was, of course, missing the smite. Hundle Trick smiting way too early, getting a little bit of a pressure, must have been feeling a little bit of the pressure, missing the infinite duress that he was trying to use to enter the Dragon Pit, and then smiting about 300 HP early. Further than The fight, they decide to try and take the dragon, Lobster Gaming being a bit greedy after diving the T2, allowing the time for both the Irelia and the Warwick to get up. You need to make that decision a bit sooner and be a bit more decisive about what you want. They could have had the turret or the dragon, and instead of fighting, they try to take the people under the turret and then go to dragon, leaving them low health to get picked up and cleaned off by the Irelia, who at this point now gets straight back into the game with a 3-1 scoreline.
Absolutely. That's who they need fed on their team. Doing quite well. Has a good skess lead. Now getting to that monstrous point. Soon going to have her Infinity Edge. Become this absolute mid and late game monster that Irelia wants to be. They did overstay their welcome, and it was really sad to see at this point. However, I feel like we do see that Lobster Gaming, despite the fact being so low HP, able to trading kills still at that point. They were so low, but still able to get something going for them, and still got the dragon.
Yeah, I mean, dragon, it's definitely good that they got the dragon there. Otherwise, that would have definitely not been worth it at all. Big other notice is that Kaiser was able, with the last team fight, to complete her first item, is now on a Essence Reaver against Jin's BF Sword and Zeal.
Yes, and we do see in the top lane the fun item, 2 Banner of Commands. Already seen both used. Cho'Gath used it early with a big decent wave to try and collapse it onto Train Game's tower, but Train Game then responded with one once he got his cannon minion. Just doing what he can. Hunter coming in with his Blood Hunt to try and collapse onto Train Game. Using the Call of the Forge God to try and keep himself alive. Just get 2-man knockup and a whole lot of damage down, and Akihiko shows up and uses the Subjugate, couldn't think of it at the time, was able to completely melt Cho'Gath, take away all of his resistance, anything that had, all of his HP, and then we get that collapse, and in the bot lane we do see Rexor does get a bunch of damage down onto Sibian. Sibian able to flash and get the 4-shot auto onto Rexor. Rexor does get the heal and this barrier off to keep him alive. Does barrier now at this point as the curtain calls completely missed. Mother Beast Meow still on the chase, but he does not get anything more for this.
Bunch of summoners were burned there, and it looks like they take first tower top though because of the trade of the great counter gank by the Trundle.
Absolutely, that counter gank was absolutely fantastic. Great things for LG at this point. Able to see the Akihiko just doing what he needs to do, get them into the mid-game spike that they really want to do, get Ornn out of this lane, put down his banner minion, and then just start grouping around. I think at this point we do see the Ornn and maybe the Akihiko force something down bot lane as Orianna just tries to keep mid lane just even at this point, just clearing waves, just not even thinking about it, prevent Irelia from roaming.
Yeah, just shove Irelia in over and over again, mitigate that lead, mitigate the damage that Irelia's already about to cause. She's just standing a couple hundred gold away from the Trinity Force. That will be a huge spike for her. And you remember how you talked about the fact that Soraka for you is a tilter champion. That trade definitely went against Lobster Gaming's bot lane to the point where Rexor nearly died when he tried to dive a bit too far. Kaiser though, within a couple moments, half health, able to shove in the lane and then execute a perfectly done lane swap.
Very well. We do see Train Game now coming down to the bot lane, just as I figured, and he did use his banner minion top lane, but there's no real response. Bridge late on the swap game as it is, and this Rexor able to get this minion wave that's now collapsed into him, just giving him more and more farm, getting further and further ahead as he can get. It does look like Hunter has collapsing on Train Game, just trying to do whatever damage he can use to him. Train Game not really caring too much. He's pretty strong at this point in time. The Call of the Forge God is used early, the Rupture to knock him out of that. Train Game not able to get the second part of the Call of the Forge God down, and we do see Kobeck TPing in, does not finish it, decides against it. Blutzgains is here though, and now they can force a 3v2 if they can get something going, but it doesn't seem like they might get anything. It looks like they're just going to push into the tier 1.
I have to admit, what I'm really surprised about and impressed with, such a new team as Lobster Gaming, not even having probably practiced or played together more than 4 or 5 games this week, able to counter gank these so perfectly for the Ornn. Every time the Ornn initiates the fight, Orianna and Trundle are both ready to begin fighting and get down there to turn the fight.
Very very well done by Akihiko to able to do something. And there is something going on the top side. It looks like Rexor able to get a 4th kill onto the game, able to slap some other people out as the tidal wave not able to keep herself alive. And the Soraka, the wish just comes in to keep Rexor alive. Gamer just able to just keep Rexor so sustained, so healthy. And that's why I hate that champion. And we do have another kill in the mid lane. Blitzgang able to solo kill Kopek despite the fact Kopek having a 30 CS advantage and 3 kills up. What? I did not even see how that was able to happen. But we do have another fight down in the bot lane as Akihiko Train Game going for another fight against Fridge and Hunter able to land the infinite address on Akihiko. Akihiko's subjugate seems to go down, I believe, onto Fridge. I did not see it. Call the Forge God not available for Train Game. Looks like he's just trying to run and get away if he can. He does use the Searing Charge underneath his turret. Does he keep him alive? Who knows? The bellowing breath able to give him the shield that he needs, able to get the slowdown onto the Warwick. Fridge having very little mana. I think Train Game is able to just completely kite him around the tower, maybe even go 2 for 1. Does not get the kill, but he does. Fridge does escape with his life. Train Game still going, able to get his call before it got back up. Fridge no mana, still able to get the Brittle Frog off. Bellow's breath to get another Brittle Frog and the Searing Charge to get the knockup at the end. Train Game able to get another kill. Well done by Train Game. That was an absolutely amazing 2v1 by him. Akihiko dying early on, still able to turn around, having the blue buff and the red buff that he got from Honda Trick from that dive. Really well played by him. Very nicely done on the Ornn champion.
Well, Ornn, I forgot who said it in the chat. Ornn, a fun champion to play, and a fun champion to play against. Train Game showing that off perfectly, walking the whole length of the T1 to T1 bot lane turret, turning around and then getting the double kill as they can't kill him under the turret. More importantly, to answer your question, what happened with the Irelia, Orianna hits the perfect, shockwave on her to get her into the health, and then the distance followed up by that to chunk her out, showing off her ability to do burst damage still as she now has 1 item.
And for all of that play that we saw, all of the things that happened, very well done for Lobster Gaming, able to get another dragon, the Ocean Dragon, for them. And it's looking like this mid game can become very, very strong. Gamer does flash away from the Deadly Flourish. I wasn't sure if he was marked for that. It looked like Hunter Trick did use Saving Dress. Didn't look like he got anything. Actually, trying to get out, does get the Wish proc, does not keep him alive. The flawless duet coming in and able to get the stun down. Kopek getting 2 more kills and Fridge getting 1 more. This is looking really well done for ESG. Fridge and Hunter Trick pretty low. Kopek able to just get out of there as he can. It looks like Train Game does get the TP in. The Call of the Forge God completely decimating all of ESG. This Train Game needs to be stopped. He is so strong, so tanky.
Well, definitely, if that's not your, oh my god, what are we going to do with the Irelia team fight? I don't know what it is. Jumps in, pops the tank Trungle, who had about 600 health left, turns around and 2 shots both the 80 carry and support almost immediately together. Scary fight that happened. If it wasn't for Train Game being so far ahead, they could have...
Bellow's breath trying to get some damage down, does get the tower, but he does pay for it with his life. That bounty goal onto Hunter Trick could be spelled could spell doom for that team. Hunter Trick able to get the tank that he needs at this point in time. However, yes, as we said, that team fight looked so good for ESG right at the beginning. Able to burst down 3 members, almost 4 in the beginning, and then Lute's games and Train Games, the only ones left alive. Train Game with the late teleport, able to completely turn the fight around absolutely miraculously and just beats them all down.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a nerve-wracking moment probably for Lobster Gaming. Lobster Gaming just needs to roam as a death squad at this point, and I think they'll be able to take this game. They cannot path him properly, though, as we saw what happened with the Trundle at the beginning of that fight. It turns out that if one of these players gets separated, bad things can happen. Irelia, overextending as well, is forced to teleport out of the top lane. Another big problem that they're going to face now, because it means Irelia cannot split push for the team.
Yes, they're not placed to split push. They didn't have lane pressuring at that point in time. Little aggressively up, no tier 1 to fall back to. It was kind of a misplay, but at the end of the day, they do now have pressure on the bot lane. The banner now around Fridge, now grouping with his team. The top lane still pushing in favor of ESG. It looks like Lobster Gaming do need to collect these waves, do need to send someone to take care of those. Having no TP on their team, they do need to take care of this, but they will lose Baron priority. However, they are doing the Baron right now. They've started it. They are in the vision of ESG, and you do still have a Hundred Trick and Fridge both able to pump out lots of damage and good DPS. Fridge able to completely one-shot somebody at this point, having so much HP. They do decide to turn off of the Baron, go for the call of Ford, got immediately on the back.
Big ult!
And a great shockwave from Luke's Gans, getting a 4-man shockwave. Fridge trying to do what he can in the back line, getting as much damage as he can. Mother be out with a good Aqua Prison, but there's not much DPS at this point in time for ESG. Hundred Trick and Sibian not able to get in that fight at all.
Seems like it's gonna be another Baron take right here. However, Honda Trick has a 2-level lead on Akiko right now. If they can't force Honda Trick out, this could be a very easy steal if he can get himself into the Baron pit.
Absolutely. Sibian having no mana, though. Hundred Trick does have to back. He has almost no HP. He did get burned down by Gloop's Gains and Train Game, doing so much damage. The Bellows Breath does a lot of damage, especially if you're not prepared for it. And Orianna did go Leandri's Torment, which I feel was a very good buy here into 3 champions that really want to build HP.
Yeah. It looks like, though, they are about to give up 2 turrets bot lane. Definitely worth it, though, as the Baron bus with the Ornn splitting, they should be able to take back at least 2 turrets worth of, you know, gold and pressure coming from the next 3 or 4 minutes.
Absolutely. They already got more than that based on just the fact that they were able to win that team fight as well and then get the Baron. They were not able to collapse onto the Baron fast enough and then start a fight while they were tanking the Baron. They did get to peel off the Baron, get the call of the Forge God, and just completely start a fight with Ornn. Ornn 7, 2, and 3, doing what he can for this team. He's an absolute monster at this point in time. It's very hard for anybody to match. Having a 2-level lead, the highest level in the game, level 15. He is shared with Gloop's Gains. Gloop's Gains having a better mid-game as his early game was looking pretty sad in the Kopek matchup.
Just takes 1 kill to get that confidence going with Orianna. We've seen 2 big ults at this point from the Orianna. One on the 1v1 of the Irelia, and that huge 4-man ult that trained and saved that team fight for them.
Yes, it looked like that could have gone either way until that 4-man shockwave just showed up and just said, here you go, now it's our time to shine. And that just the AoE damage that comes out from Train Game, Gloop's Gains, and Rexor, just so much AoE, and Gamer just able to keep everybody alive. There's so much HP on this team, just so much sustain.
So I want to take a moment here and instill some knowledge I gained from working at E United here. One thing I always cringe now watching when I see it, as I'll shut up for the team fight.
All the Forge God does completely annihilate Mother Beacon now and Kopek completely out of the fight. Sibian just blocking, getting caught out by the Akihiko, getting the chomp down, getting the Deadly Flourish down, but doesn't really stop much at this point. Train Game doesn't really care. The Baron up minions just pushing it down. Rexor ulting in with his killer instinct to try and finish off Hundred Trick. But Hundred Trick uses infinite duress to get out to safety with the flash. Train Game still just tanking, doesn't even care. Sibian getting pillared again by Akihiko. Akihiko walks right up, gives him the chomp, gives him some damage, doesn't really do too much to him, doesn't really like that. And the curtain call comes down. Train Game is soaking up all of this. The curtain call now focused onto all of the back line, not able to do anything. Train Game does manage to step the front. Bridge just dies before the 1 in the back line. Train Game getting another knockup with the Searing Charge onto his pillar. And Mother Beacon now dies again, and it's just not able to do much, not able to keep the team alive, having a very sore time. Kopek getting her ultimate stopped as it flashed away, and the pillar to completely deny any more chase. LG not wanting to fight anymore after Train Game has fallen.
Immediately, though, looking for more, taking it bot lane to get the rotation and get the bot lane tier 2 down. Looks like, though, they start to back off. Huge minion wave, though, taking the turret well below half health.
Yes, realizing they can't really pressure you, don't have Train Game. He's a lot of your CC. Gloop's Gains was kind of low. Akihiko did not have Subjugate, did not have enough HP to want to try and tank, does not have a Warmogs at this point in time, so he can't just regen it all back. Rexor also did use his ultimate, didn't have his shield priority. There was things to get inside the bot side jungle. I think at this point they're just trying to look to get, maybe they look to get bot lane, get the dragon, and then just rotate up the bot lane, and then try to take another inhibitor with the Baron with what they have left on it.
I mean, at this point, if I'm them, I am grouping as 5, running it down mid. They have shown consistently that ESG Genesis cannot team fight them. No need to split open the map. Just go straight down, force the team fight, end the game.
sure they can. I feel like at this point in time, they can also just stall on one of the side lanes, letting the mid lane push because somebody has to answer it, and they don't really have good answers to that wave at this point in time. Sivy not the best wave clearer on the Jhin. He does have good wave clear, but not into a super minion wave. Kopek would have to tank a lot of damage being in melee. Fridge probably won't care too much, but he'll do it very slowly and not able to collapse. He does have teleport, so does Kopek, so they can teleport if something were to happen, but the minion wave will stack, and that is not something they really need. And they do give up the tier 2. The banner minion now just pushing it down 3 and 2 lane with kind of a strange strat. I think Rexar and Akihiko will be able to completely tear down this tower, but Hunted is looking to force something on the top side. It is 3v2. There is no teleport on Rexar or Akihiko to get here. The infinite duress onto Luke's Games immediately trying to get him off. There's one-man shockwave working on Hunted to peel him off train game, able to just walk into 4v1. Does get bursted down pretty much by Simi. The 4-shot doing a lot of damage. Kopek in the back line trying to look to get something onto Gamer. They did force the 3v5. However, Akihiko and Rexor not caring too much and just taking down Nexus towers. ESG, what can you do? Not able to collapse on that team fight fast enough and stop that from happening. They do lose another inhibitor tower. The inhibitor's still alive, but the mid inhibitor is now still gone.
Definitely panic time here for ESG. Not much really they can do at this point. It'll take multiple multiple picks, not even team fights, because we've seen they cannot win team fights, and multiple Barons and Dragons to come back here. The gold lead almost starting to approach that 10k magic marker that we use here at Duo Esports to show when a game is almost over.
Yes, absolutely. It is getting to that deadly point. ESG not out just yet. They are having issues at this point in time, not being able to force a fight when they want to. They don't have the greatest engage. They really need to make a pick and use the vision that they can get. It's not something I've seen them being able to use successfully, and it's honestly a detriment to them. They have lots of single target pick potential, something that they need to be able to do. The only problem is that the person that they need to pick at this point in time is Train Game, and Train Game is so tanky that the team can just collapse.
It's not just the tankiness, though. If you watch that last fight where he died up in the top side, or ESG side, top side jungle, he did a half of the Sivian's health with just hitting him with his ult. Nothing more, nothing less.
And Mother beats be out. They just got almost decimated by the Ornn. Ornn able to pump out so much damage and be so tanky. He's really good at stalling. He's got his shield on his Bellows Breath that he can spam on repeat. It's very, very hard to do something. And if he's even a cross-map gamer, can always just use Wish. And it's just like, it's very, very hard at this point in time. They do need to make a pick, but they're just a ball of death. It's very hard for this ESG's composition to get back into this game unless they're able to find someone alone warding aggressively in a place that they shouldn't be warding.
Yeah. I mean, big wave pushing bot side again. Same look as last time. Big wave bot lane coming to them. Baron getting up, getting taken down. Not much really that it looks like ESG can do.
Starting the Baron, trying to see what they can do. The big wave is pushing towards them. They need to be able to either do this quickly and then collapse on that big wave, but they can also tank the Baron, and maybe something can happen. Hunter just looking for the steal, but I think they can actually fight them underneath this pit if they can get a pick onto Gamer and Rexor. It'll be very hard, but they're looking to it. They're just tanking the Baron at this point in time. Baron not doing a lot of damage. Oh, the forward guy coming off to the side. Train Game just looking to see what he can do. Does manage to land on City and Mother Beast. Equinox lands on the double shockwave onto the backline, completely murdering all of ESG's backline and their damage. Fridge still looking to do something. Hunter does infinite rest over the wall to try and see if he can get the Baron, but Baron is only at 2,500 HP. Fridge not able to do anything. A big lumbering giant that he is, just trying to do something, cannot do anything. Kopek with the stairs gauge proc now on the backside, just trying to get another kill for his team, but not able to, getting immediately collapsed on by the silence of the Equinox. Fridge giant by himself does try to chop the Baron down, does not get it. Trundle does smite it away at 100 HP. Really sad time for ESG, and I believe with that, it is now GG.
Definitely they can push it and end it. Super smart play by Lobster here. Super confident, super relaxed, knowing not only was Akihiko a level down at the time of the Baron fight against the Warwick, so he could be outsmited, but the Cho'Gath himself able to do much more damage than the smite. Very clean game, very strong game, and I believe the first game win of the season for Lobster Gang Esports as they come in and take it. Welcome to Duo, your first win. Big day for them and a great way to come back after such a rough week one and completely overhauling their roster.
And if there's anything I have to say for this game, it's do not let Akihiko get that trundle that was so instrumental to that early game, getting Train Game into that position that he was able to just bully out Fridge and Honda Trick in the 2v1 situations, games that he should not be able to do. That was just absolutely insane. It was very, very good on him. Sivian and Mother Beep and Biao, though, not able to get too much going, as they would just get immediately shockwaved or getting burst out in the fights early on. They're not able to get anything going. It was very, very sad to see.
Yeah, it certainly was. As we now take a look at the damage, the big one certainly surprising. Irelia Kopech on Irelia at one point was 3-1-1, ends the game only 5-5-4, unable to take that lead and really snowball it in any way. It's unfortunate. She had multiple opportunities to get a shot at their backline. Really could not do anything, though, with those situations. Other than that, of course, the MVP of the game has to be Train Game. Train Game taking full responsibility for these team fights. Big ults, big damage soakers, big damage dealt, I bet we will see shortly. And then Glutes gains as well. 7-1-15 on the Orianna. 3 or 4 multi-man ults, really changing the way this game was played.
And Glutes gains, not all of ESG's team composition, building a lot of HP early on. That Leandri's pickup really early was absolutely amazing by Glutes gains, and it shows inside of the damage charts. Like, Glutes gains doing 36,000 damage for his team. Absolutely insane. Thought Rexor was the carry of that game. It seems I was wrong. Orianna doing way more damage, 13,000 more damage than the 80 carry counterpart that got fed early on. Glutes gains in a rough spot early game managed to turn it around and do what he can for his team. However, Train Game not out himself. 28,000 on the Ornn.
What do you do when you have a tank, right? And I bet if we flash it up, what we will do is flash up the damage taken by champions, and it's gonna be probably the highest in the game. And then you flip it, and it's the second. The same tank has the same player has the second highest damage dealt in the room. Scary stuff.
Absolutely, it did not do as much damage taken as Trundle. Trundle able to just sustain so much. His subjugate being absolutely super powerful into champions like Cho'Gath, Warwick, Irelia. If he's able to use it early on one of them and get a pick with that, is absolutely immense. Sure, if he doesn't have it in the middle of a team fight, Fridge can run them over if he has the ability to get a rupture onto the back line if someone just completely burst them out.
Exactly.
And it was just terrifying to see.
Exactly. Last but not least, the vision scores of the game.
First and foremost, I would like to say shame on the carries of Lobster Gaming. No control towards bot.
Oh, that's very unfortunate. I mean, I guess you don't need vision wars when you can still pop someone for all their health when you just walk into them, right?
You don't need vision if the enemy team is dead, Warhood. If they're dead, they can't do anything to stop you now, can they?
Nope. Can't get that vision out. Soraka, though, with the hard 73 vision score, doing great. Even with Mother Meepy Meow coming off at 51. Very unfortunate. Surprising from what I've seen. A lot of 80 carries not liking to ward. The 80 carry of Lobster Gaming having the third highest vision score in the game with 49. Very respectable coming.
Control wards purchase. Good on him. Great play from that. I like that. Playing the vision game, knowing that your win condition in this game was to not get caught. If you do get caught on your Rexor, or if Glutes Gains gets caught, you could pretty much just lose team fights off of that, just forcing a 4v5 Fridge and Fridge with the Chomp and the Rupture, just good to pick potentially Infinite Duress, as we said earlier. Just such good pick potential on the side of ESG, not able to get the picks because their vision was so denied heavily, as we see here with the vision wards purchased.
Yeah, it is definitely a dangerous spot. And with that, was there anything specifically other than that do you want to look at before we take it to break?
Not that I can think of. The only thing I can just think about looking at is lobsters. I mean, oof, that made me hungry. All I know is that it was great. They were able to show people that they're not just boiled, that they can roast themselves or roast the other teams just as well.
Yeah, they did not roast themselves today. Great game here by Lobster, coming back through all the adversity, able to step up, get there, and let me correct myself, the second win of their season. They beat Kiss last week with a different roster. This roster, though, looks like they're on path for great things. We will be back at 5 p.m. for the second game of the weekend, or the last game of the weekend and of the week. Kiss Gaming versus Los Eskimos. Stay tuned for more Duo Esports Bronze, Silver, Gold coming up shortly. Oh, I cut you off, I think. My fault. Good shit. Good shit today. Yeah. Yeah, it's all action all over the map. Great time for that. Yeah. Well, it was like what happened was that people kept fighting when like across the map at the same time. So one fight would end and another fight was still going on the other side of the map. Yeah. Yeah, anyway. Good shit. Signups are posted.